As we get older, it's not uncommon to feel like certain friends or family members begin to drift away. Perhaps they don't call as often, the invites to social gatherings seem to be fewer, or you find yourself spending more time alone than you'd like. It can be frustrating, even painful, to feel like you're being left behind. But what if I told you that there are real reasons this happens? And more importantly, that many of them are within your control. In today's video, we'll explore 6 key reasons why people start to distance themselves as they get older. These aren't just random, unexplainable circumstances. They're real behaviors, attitudes, and patterns that can unknowingly push people away. And once you understand these dynamics, you can take action to not only strengthen your existing relationships, but also to build meaningful connections that will last for years to come. Make sure you watch until the very end, because some of these reasons may surprise you. More importantly, we'll show you how to avoid these pitfalls and maintain strong, lasting bonds with the people who matter most. So if you've ever felt like people are slipping away from your life, stay with me. This video might just change your perspective. Let's dive in. Number 1. Neglecting personal growth. One of the biggest reasons people begin to distance themselves in old age is when someone stops growing mentally, emotionally, or socially. A person who continues to evolve, who stays curious, and who keeps engaging with the world around them, remains interesting and relatable. But when someone stops seeking new experiences, resists learning, or refuses to adapt, they can become harder to connect with. It's not just about keeping up with trends or learning new things. It's about staying mentally active and emotionally engaged with the world. Think about it. When you talk to someone who is open-minded, who asks questions, and who shows a genuine interest in life, the conversation feels fresh and exciting. On the other hand, if someone only talks about the past, resists change, or shuts down new ideas, those interactions can become repetitive and, at times, even draining. Over time, people may stop reaching out because they sense that something in the conversation is stuck, and that can create emotional distance. Imagine this. Take 2 older men, John and Frank, both in their 70s. John regularly watches documentaries, stays informed about the latest technology, and enjoys learning about new topics. Frank, on the other hand, constantly says things like, "I don't get all that new stuff," or "things were better back in my day." Which of these 2 do you think people will enjoy talking to more? Which one do you think gets more invitations, more phone calls, and keeps their relationships thriving? It's easy to fall into the comfort of familiar routines as we age. But staying engaged with life, asking questions, and showing curiosity is a choice. You don't need to master every new trend or technology, but being open-minded and willing to evolve can help you stay connected with others. When you choose growth, people will want to be around you. If you stop growing, they might feel like they're moving forward while you're standing still. And the best part is, it's never too late to change. Whether it's learning a new skill, reading something outside your comfort zone, or simply asking more questions in conversation, the effort to grow will keep you connected to others. Because people are drawn to those who keep moving forward, not those who remain stuck in the past. Number 2. Becoming too negative or complaining often. Nothing pushes people away faster than constant negativity. If you find yourself frequently complaining about your health, the younger generation, or how things used to be better, you might be unknowingly driving people away. It's natural to vent sometimes, but if your conversations revolve mainly around complaints, it can feel exhausting for others. Think about how you feel when you're around someone who always seems to have something negative to say. Maybe it's a relative who constantly talks about their aches and pains, or a friend who always brings up bad news, no matter what the topic. Over time, those conversations can drain you emotionally. People may not even realize it at first, but gradually they'll start calling less, visiting less, and eventually drifting away. This doesn't mean you should never talk about your struggles. Everyone faces hardships, and sharing challenges with trusted people is important. But the key difference is balance. If your conversations are mostly centered around frustrations, regrets, and complaints, it can make even the people who care most about you hesitate to reach out. Now, picture 2 older men at a family gathering. One spends the entire time complaining about his back pain, the weather, and how nobody listens to older people anymore. The other shares a funny story, asks how everyone is doing, and finds something positive to say about the event. Which one do you think people will want to sit next to? And which one will get more invitations to family gatherings in the future? Energy is contagious. People gravitate toward those who bring light and positivity into a conversation, not those who constantly cast a shadow. If you've noticed people pulling away from you, take a moment to reflect on the energy you bring into your interactions. Are you adding warmth, curiosity, and connection? Or have you fallen into the habit of focusing on what's wrong? A small shift in your mindset can have a huge impact on how people perceive you. When you bring positivity into the world, people will always want to be around you. Number 3. Failing to nurture relationships. Relationships don't thrive on their own. Friendships, family bonds, and social connections all require effort. If you find that certain people are drifting away, it could be because those relationships haven't been nurtured. You may be expecting others to always reach out first, to make plans, or to check in with you. But that can unintentionally push people away. Think about the relationships in your life. When was the last time you reached out to someone just to check in or invite them over? When was the last time you made a phone call, sent a message, or showed someone that you care? Many people assume that if someone really cares about them, they'll always make the effort. But the reality is, relationships fade when they are not actively nurtured. A simple text, a quick call, or an invitation to grab a coffee can make a huge difference. It lets people know that they are valued, and it shows that you care about maintaining that connection. If someone only hears from you when you need something, or when they are the ones doing all the work, they may start to feel like the relationship is one-sided, and eventually, they'll stop putting in the effort. Imagine two older men, Tom and Bill. Tom regularly checks in with friends and family, asks about their day, and takes an active interest in their lives. Bill, on the other hand, only calls when he needs a favor or to complain about something. Which one do you think people will want to stay in touch with? It's never too late to rebuild connections. Even small gestures, like a short phone call or remembering important details about someone's life, can show that you care. The key is consistency. Relationships need constant attention, and when you make the effort, people will want to stay in your life. Number 4. Refusing to adapt to change. Life is full of changes. Social norms evolve, technology advances, and the way we communicate shifts. People who stay connected and engaged are the ones who embrace those changes, not resist them. One of the biggest reasons people start to pull away in old age is when someone becomes too rigid, rejecting new ideas or refusing to understand how the world is evolving. Think about how different the world is today compared to 20 or 30 years ago. Communication has shifted from face-to-face conversations to texting, video calls, and social media. Younger generations communicate in ways that might feel unfamiliar to us. Yet, when people refuse to adapt, they start to feel disconnected from their family members and friends, especially those who are more tech-savvy. Imagine two older men, Steve and Jim. Steve refuses to learn how to use a smartphone, dismisses technology as too complicated, and constantly complains about how things were better in his day. Jim, on the other hand, asks his grandchildren to show him how to send a text, listens with curiosity to their stories, and tries to engage with their world. Which one do you think the younger generation will want to spend time with? Change can be difficult, but it's also inevitable. The key is to stay flexible and open-minded. You don't need to embrace every trend, but showing an interest in the changing world around you and asking questions can help keep you connected. People want to be around those who are curious and adaptable, not those who resist change. Number 5. Becoming overly dependent on others. As we age, it's natural to need help from time to time. But when you become overly dependent on others without considering their needs, you may unintentionally push people away. Relationships thrive when there's balance. If you're constantly asking for help without giving anything in return, people may start to feel like the relationship is one-sided. Think about the people in your life. Are you relying too much on them? Whether it's asking for favors, leaning on family for emotional support, or expecting others to always check in with you, overdependence can create strain. People want to help those they care about, but they also want to feel appreciated and valued. It's important to balance asking for help with offering support in return. Even small acts of self-sufficiency, gratitude, and finding ways to contribute go a long way in maintaining strong relationships. Imagine two older men. One constantly asks for help but rarely expresses gratitude, while the other makes an effort to contribute, offer advice, and show appreciation. Which one do you think people will continue to help and support? Number 6. Holding on to resentment and failing to forgive. Finally, one of the most powerful ways to push people away is by holding on to unresolved resentment. As we age, we can accumulate past hurts, conflicts, betrayals, and moments where we felt wronged. But holding on to those feelings doesn't just harm us, it creates distance between us and the people we care about. No one wants to be around someone who constantly brings up past conflicts or refuses to forgive. If you find yourself holding on to bitterness or replaying old arguments, consider the impact it's having on your relationships. Forgiveness isn't about forgetting, it's about choosing peace over resentment. By letting go of the past, you free yourself to move forward and create stronger, more meaningful connections. Imagine two older men, Richard and John. Richard still holds onto grudges from years ago, and every conversation turns into a reminder of old conflicts. John, on the other hand, has learned to forgive, focusing on the present and enjoying his time with loved ones. Which one do you think people will want to be around? Forgiveness is not just about others. It's also about freeing yourself from carrying unnecessary emotional weight. Let go of resentment, and you'll find that your relationships will thrive. As we wrap up, take a moment to reflect on these 6 reasons. Do any of them resonate with you? If so, don't see this as criticism, but as an opportunity to reconnect and strengthen your relationships. The truth is, loneliness in old age isn't inevitable. Many of the factors that push people away can be changed. The more effort you put into nurturing your relationships, staying open-minded, and offering positivity, the more fulfilling your later years will be. Remember, relationships are about the energy you bring into them, your ability to make others feel valued, understood, and appreciated. Stay engaged, stay curious, and keep investing in the people who matter most. Because when you do, they'll want to stay in your life. Thank you for joining me today. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. What resonated with you the most? If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating valuable content for you. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.